Yo guys, what is going on? Blossom is back and welcome back to another episode of Top Drives. Now this video is going to be a nice little low-key video just to split up all the pack openings that we've been seeing. Obviously we had the Christmas special, we had the 5 million, we still have a couple elite pack videos that I gotta post, and then we had my elite pack videos as well. A lot of pack opening videos recently, so it's nice to break it up, a little palette cleanser, because obviously really soon we're gonna be jumping into the 10 million pack opening. That's gonna be at least 5 videos, 2 million per part, because 1 million just isn't big enough anymore, is it? I don't know. It's either 10 1 million parts or 5 2 million parts, and I'm thinking about 5 2 million parts. Let me know what you prefer in the comments below. But today we're going to be going through my American Frontier garage. This update, American Frontier, has literally been out for about 6 days, not even a week. And I just want to say, and I will do a further, more in-depth review of American Frontier later, maybe a week from now or a week and a half from now, kind of like what I did with European Revolution, in terms of how in-depth that I'm going to talk about the update and just my review of the update in general. And I can already tell you right now, American Frontier is 10 times better than European Revolution, and I will make my case for that in that video when I post, I don't know, maybe a week and a half from now, but after this video it's going to be more pack openings obviously. So first things first, let me just show you my collection. American Frontier, I have 57 cars in total. This update, I want to say, has been out for less than a week. Okay, out for less than a week, and I already have more American Frontier cars than European Revolution. That just shows how sad European Revolution is. And it's not even a situation like, oh, I don't like the European Revolution car, so I didn't collect anything. No, because European Revolution had nothing to collect. They were all legendaries, and there's absolutely no way I can even collect 10% of that collection. So yeah, I already have more American Frontier cars. That's what happens when you bring in meat and potatoes into the game, a lot of variety, and I'm absolutely loving it. Once again, this week I've just been going crazy. I've been maxing out a lot of cars. So in 6 days, I've already maxed out 40 American Frontier cars. 40. And you've already seen 2 of them with the Dodge Viper TA as well as the Mustang GT4. So let me just go into the collection. Actually, first of all, let me just give you a rundown of everything by rarity on my American Frontier garage. So far in a week, or 6 days, almost a week, I've collected 5 commons, 11 uncommons, 12 rares, 20 super rares, 6 ultra rares, 2 epics, and 1 legendary. And just to let you guys know, I've opened about 3.4 million so far, 1.4 when the update just dropped, and then a further 2 million on Christmas. So I'm only 3.4 million ceramics in, and then for European Revolution I opened 5 million. So considering I have more American Frontier cars, it speaks for itself. But obviously it's a lot easier to get these cars because you can open the American premiums, whereas for the European Revolution ones, you couldn't really open any premiums that would get you a high chance of the new cars, because there's no Swedish premiums, no Dutch premiums, no Croatian premiums. You get what I mean. The closest you could get was French premiums, and you could get like maybe half of the car pool from European Revolution. But anyway, that's the collection, and let me just show you the fully upgraded now for 40 of them. 4 fully upgraded commons, 10 uncommons, 10 rares, 8 super rares, 5 ultra, 2 epic, and 1 legendary. Commons are very low because commons are really hard to max, because commons are the hardest rarity, is the hardest rarity to get. I mean, besides, well, in the lower ranks, okay? We'll take away ultra, epic, and legend. You know, the only time I get commons are from the prize boards, and you only get 3 per prize board, so I need to empty out 5 separate prize boards just to max 1 common car. So the commons do take a while. Uncommons and rares are super easy because I max uncommons with other uncommons, and I max rares with uncommons, and uncommons I can get them a dime a dozen, because when you open 1 ceramic pack you get 3. So if I open 30 ceramic packs, that's 90 uncommons basically. So I know, Blossom doing that. So let me just show you my entire collection, maxed and stock. So let's start with the commons. So far, within the 6 days, I've gotten a Mustang 2, Spirit GT, Chrysler New Yorker, Dodge Aspen RT, and a Chrysler 5th Avenue. Now bear in mind, these are 100% of the American Frontiers I've gotten since the update dropped. I've actually never sold or fused an American Frontier common yet. So everything, as you can see here, you know, it's super new, and I max it out, as you can see. One of the things that I'm really interested in second is the Dodge Aspen RT. Now this one I got most recently, I think I got it yesterday, and I'm going to 996 it. It's going to be the Chevrolet Monte Carlo for American Frontier. The Chevrolet Monte Carlo is still the lowest 0 to 60, still has the lowest 0 to 60 out of all the comments in the game at 6.4, and I think the Dodge Aspen RT is going to be 6.6. So it's not going to be, you know, the best common dragster in general, but it is going to be the best common dragster for American Frontier. So for that reason alone, I'm going to be 996ing one. Obviously it's a Dodge, so I'm going to get the second one and 969 that just because I can. But the first one is going to be 996. Moving on to uncommons, I have sold some. I have sold some American Frontier uncommons, but for the most part, I have decided to keep most of them. We start off with the Dodge Daytona Turbo Z. Now I think that this is going to be a super underrated car. For RQ22, it has 6.40 to 60, 82 handling, and it's low, but that is really impressive. You know, 6.40 to 60, 82 handling, definitely a car to keep. Great handling, low 0 to 60. When you compare it to one of the Blossom Choice cars, now a lot of people were asking if I'm going to update the Blossom Choice. I will. Just give me some time because I really want to see what are the best of the best in this update. I have some already, but I want to really make a big list and then narrow it down from there. But this one's definitely a contender. It's a really good car. 6.482. If you compare it to another Blossom Choice car, which is the TVR Type R, it's 6.683. And it's not like this car is super heavy either. I mean, it's 1,100, so it's not as light as the TVR Type R, but still a very impressive machine. Now, this has no MRA, to be fair, but this is a good twisty car, and I do love that very much. It's a Dodge Daytona. I mean, come on. I got two slingshots. Obviously, this one is going to be pretty meta breaking, I assume. It's very, very light, weighing under 800 kgs. It has 92 handling and 0 to 60 of under 8 seconds. Performance tires, rear drive. It's a decent car. I mean, I haven't really used it much. I think I've only used it in clubs a couple times just to show, just to flex. It's just like, oh hey, look at me, I have a slingshot max now. I mean, it's not really much of a flex. I'm sure a lot of people have it maxed. But still, I'm a fan, so that's why I maxed 2. I do plan to max 2 Cold Vistas as well. I just want to see how well the first one does for me. If it is pretty impressive or slightly impressive even, I will max the second one, but that's why I have this one lying around. It also has the Christmas collection, but I don't think I'll be using it in the challenge too often. I've used this a couple times in clubs, actually today because it's times 5 uncommon. As you can see, the win ratio is not the best, but it's a good RQ saver. Now, one car that has been really impressive is the Dodge D100. As you can see, I've had it for 16 races, 88% win ratio. That 0 to 60 is insane. Just want to let you guys know this is 996, and I think you probably want a 996 this bad boy. It's a nice little dragster, great car for the quarter mile. Obviously, since the Plymouth GTX is now rare, the D100 is a decent one to actually have in your garage now that the GTX is, well, rare. I got the Conquest and the Chrysler, the Dodge Conquest and the Chrysler Conquest. These two I actually haven't used much. They look very beautiful. I love them, and the stats are pretty decent. But I haven't used them much because at the end of the day, the Chrysler Conquest is just not as good as the Lotus Europa Cup, I think, which is 6 something? 5? No, 5884, I believe. So the Chrysler Conquest TSI, you know, because of the bad 0 to 60, I haven't used it that much in clubs. And then the last one I want to talk about is the Ford Taurus Show. Now this is kind of just Hutch showing us that they have no idea about American cars. They don't know what an American car is because for some reason the Ford Taurus Show is low. It shouldn't be low. If you search up 1996 Ford Taurus Show ground clearance, it's way above 132 millimeters. I think it's like 152 millimeters. This thing is 100% medium. I get it. I'm pretty sure everyone at Hutch headquarters has never been or visited the United States before, so they probably have never seen this car before because I don't think you get this in the UK, but god damn it. How? Your research team is still really crap, Hutch. I'm gonna be real with you. How is this low? How did you come into a conclusion that the Ford Taurus Show is low? It's not low. It's going to go medium. It has to go medium. And with those stats, 6182, if you compare it to the Dodge Neon, which is 6183, that's a rare. That's RQ31, I believe. So this is probably going to be an RQ30 rare. So that's why I'm keeping it around. It's going to go medium. Anyway, last one's the Acura Integra LS. This was one of the first American Frontier cars I got. Haven't really used it that much, but once again, it's a new car. It's American Frontier. I'm keeping it. I'm maxing it. Moving on to to the rares now, a lot of these I kind of just maxed because they were new. We have the Mustang SVO, the Thunderbird SC, the AMC, I almost said AMG, AMC Eagle Wagon, the TSX, you know, the Bronco 2, the Ford Mustang GT, which has a pretty impressive 0 to 60 to be fair. All of these are kind of maxed out of hype, you know, they're new cars, I want them, I love them. But cars for you to really pay attention for, to try and collect and keep. The first one would be the Dodge Hornet, right? 5.4 0 to 60, 89 handling, and medium ground clearance. This might be a GMC Denali killer, and I do have to check it out. I haven't tested it yet because I haven't really found it a use to use it in yet. I don't think it's going to beat the Vauxhall Chevette, because the Vauxhall Chevette is very, very light. This is pretty heavy. For its competition. The Chevette is like under 1,000, 6191, but I think it might beat that Denali XT. Denali XT, that's right. But it'll be interesting to see. This one, I think people like to call it the American Mazda BBR. Which I can see why, 5.692, very impressive. I think the BBR is 5.892, but then again the BBR is lighter, I believe, but this is also a very light car. But the Demon Roadster is looking pretty good. This is definitely a car that, you know, I immediately maxed double of without questioning myself, and I think it's a car that you guys should collect as well. Moving on, Acura 3.2 TL, I maxed it out because the stats are so similar to the 3.0 CL. You know, this was 7274 stock. I think this was 7373 stock, something like that. So, you know, it was very close, and because of that reason alone, I did max it out. It's pretty decent, I guess. It's a medium ground clearance. I really haven't had a use to use it yet. I had it for, I raced it 10 times. Oh, I know why. I raced it against bots. That's why, in clubs. But moving on to the comments now. So I got a lot of super rares now. Got a lot of super rare projects to work on. You know me. I don't like my super rares, but I'll make an exception for American Frontier. Basically everything you see here is going to be maxed. I want to get every single American Frontier super rare and max them. So it's going to be a bit of a journey for me. I think I only have 9 so far. So the first super rare that I maxed, well, this is the second one, the SLX. The first ever one that I maxed was the Maya, which I 996'd. Now this one is a bit of an all-rounder car. If you 969 it, it'll be like 4.6, 4.583, and it's one of those all-rounder cars which will just lose at everything by 50. So I was like, instead of just making it a car that loses at everything, let me just focus on what it's strongest in, which is a 0 to 60. The 0 to 60 is pretty low. It's not the lowest among every single American Frontier super rare, but it is up there. It's like in the top 5 or something. So I was like, you know what, full send it, 996. It has 4.4 0 to 60. It's decent. It's okay. The closest car to compare this to would be the Aston Martin V8 from Great Exhibition, because I think the Aston Martin is 4.379, so this is 4.481, and they're both 45 RQ as well. This has an MRA of I think 77, 75, something like that. It's not horrendous, but it's not amazing as well. Moving on, this car looks really impressive to me, the Integra Type R, 5194. It is the highest handling RQ45 super rare in the game, joint first with the Citroen C2R2. So, you know, it has that going for it, a little bit of a pedigree over there. And of course the Ford F-150, which is my drag spec. This one is actually pretty impressive. It's going to be a great hill climb car. I'm only going to be using it for the hill climb. It beats cars like the Ram Rebel. It beats a 996 super rare Yukon Denali, GMC Yukon Denali. It also beats the Dodge Durango, and it beats just a couple other cars. It is pretty impressive on the hill climb, but only the hill climb. Next one is the Ford Flex. This one has better on-paper stats than the RQ49 Subaru Legacy. The Legacy, I think, is 6683. This is 6484. So you might be thinking, why is it 48? Why is it lower RQ? What I think is going to weigh this car down, literally, is its weight. It's a very heavy car. Maxed out, it's still over 2,000 pounds. It's not pounds, kgs. And it's just a very heavy car. That being said, though, the stats are going to be great, and I still think at the end of the day, it's going to be the only other American four-wheel drive standard super rare, which is the Dodge Caliber. So this is going to be a great replacement. I will get maybe 2 or 3 and max it out, mark my words. I'm personally a huge fan of the Ford Flex as well, so that's why. I love how it looks. I know that's a hot take, but I love how it looks. The next super rare that I'm going to be maxing out is going to be the Ford Mustang Cobra. Huge fan of this. I think I am currently maxing out a super rare. I might be wrong, actually. Oh, I am, because I'm currently maxing out the TL Type S. As you can see, I just need 3 more rares, and then I'll get this one done. Once that is done, I will start on the Mustang Cobra, and then I'll do a second Charger, and then the Lightning. So I got a lot to work on. I also have the Super 8 Hemi and the Dodge Razor. These two were my first two American Frontier Super Rares. Well, not first two, like in the top 5, because the first was the Maya and the SLX, right? But those were definitely in the top. This one I got from my first pack opening after American Frontier dropped. So, and the Hemi was from the free Frontier pack that you get when the update drops. So max those two out really quickly. I don't think the Super 8 Hemi is going to be really good. It's just an all-rounder, 4784 medium ground clearance, okay. Razor, I've used it a couple times in clubs. I think it's lost like every single race because I was putting it up against the Lotus Elise and the Lotus Sprint. So yeah, 10 races, 30% win ratio. But the stats are okay. I feel like for American Frontier events only, or Dodge events, low RQ Dodge events, it's going to shine. Since the Daytona is not 91 handling anymore, this at 92 is going to be, you know, huge. Next up, we have the RT. This one has really low 0 to 60, a really low 0 to 60. The first car that comes to mind, you know, 4485, I compare it to the Mustang GT convertible because that's 4386 at RQ49. They're both medium as well, but this one's a saloon. I do plan to get a second one maxed at 996 just so I can get 4382. I think that's what it's gonna be, and then I'll probably get a second one I'll probably get two maxed at 9691, one max at 996. Why? Because I can, and because I like to, and because I love Dodge. And then yeah, we got some other ones, and obviously the TL Type R will be maxed. I would say when I get 3 more rares. I don't think I have any rares in my holding pool right now. Moving on to the Ultra Rare collection, I have 6, and 5 of them are max. Now, if you remember, I used to have 7. I had another Chrysler Concept, I think it was also RQ55, and I got it from my Elite Pack. I fused it. It's gone. It's so ugly, and I was like, you know what? I couldn't bring myself to maxing out something as hideous as that, and I'll talk about that in the American Frontier review, because obviously there are a lot of ugly cars in this update, but you can't blame Hutch for that. You gotta blame the USA. We made some pretty ugly looking cars, to be fair. Luckily they were all concepts and they never came into light. Some of the concepts do look nice though, to be fair. I'll talk about that in a later video. But these are the 5 Ultras I've maxed, and then I'm currently maxing the Atlantic because, as you can see, I have nothing else to max. So because of that reason alone, just because I have nothing else to max, I'm maxing the Atlantic. The TLX is going to be an interesting one. It's the only front wheel drive standard tire Ultra Rare in the entire game. So that's going to be a niche in itself, so pretty interesting. 4784. The Neon SRT4, I know a lot of people are going to ask, oh, is this thing good? Is this thing actually good? Is this thing actually good? You guys got to remember, I'm maxing these out because they're new and they're American and because I like them. I never really tested them. I don't even know if they're even that good. The ones that I have tested though would be the Ford, actually I haven't really tested this either. I have tested the Challenger SRT 392. Now nobody saw me unpack this. I got this from my weekend challenge carbon fiber, which I didn't record. I completed it the moment it came out. I already have that DS, so you know, it was really easy. You just need super rare Mercedes. If you can't get by, it's probably because you don't have a super rare Mercedes. But SRT 392, it's like the American roof BTR, but it's just not as good as the roof BTR. I brought it up against, I put it in the straights against the roof BTR, and it just lost. It lost everything. It lost 0 to 100, it lost quarter, it lost half, it lost 1, it lost Tesbo. So this is not going to be a replacement for the roof BTR, and obviously we know that the Tamora beats the BTR on the quarter and the half, which means that this is going to lose to the Tamora on the quarter and the half, this is going to lose to the purple Countach on the Tesbo, and this is going to lose to the BTR on the 1 mile, and the BTR is the best on the 1 mile for ultra rares. So once again, this is going to be the American Frontier BTR. The only time that you're actually going to be using the Challenger SRT 392 is for American Frontier events or American events. For an American dragster, it's still the best, but it's not up there with the best. You know, it's one of the best American drag ultra rares, but it's not one of the best drag ultra rares, if that makes sense. Still, I'm a huge fan of this car. I love it, obviously. It's a Dodge, and this one is obviously 996, so 3588. The only thing that it beats the BTR in is the fast circuit, because the BTR is 3587 and this is 3588. If I do get a second one, I will 699 it, but definitely I don't know, the SRT 392 is something you want two of, right? You want a 996 version and a 699 version. Better be safe than sorry. And then the Atlantic, I don't care about the Atlantic, it's just there to be there. The RDX is pretty interesting. I tested it against the Pontiac Torrent GXP. It beats the Torrent GXP on some tracks and it loses on the others. I need to check my screenshots because I forgot what tracks it won on. But it's definitely a decent one. It's a decent car to have in your garage. Anyway, moving on to the top three now. The Epics, right? We all know about the GT4. We've seen this. It's a very impressive car. It's the highest handling Epic in the entire game. It has a very impressive 0 to 60, and the top speed is not bad either. And it's a pretty light car for for what it is, I guess. Maybe for what it is, being a motorsport GT4 car, maybe it's not that light. But it's not like Aston Martin CC100 where it's 1,500. This is 1,250, yeah, 51. This one I maxed out. I finished it out today. I did not skip any fuses on this. I just let it take its time. The Dodge Viper SRT10, 202 top speed, 3.4 0 to 60, 95 handling, and it has 90 MRA. So it's a very impressive machine. So as you can see, if it's all going to be dry for the Koenigsegg 1.1, this is my hand right now, the SRT10, the GT4, and the TA. And then if I don't pull anything from my 10 million pack opening, then I guess it's going to be the Challenger SRT 392 and, oh god, the Atlantic, or maybe even the Neon. So obviously last but not least we have Syracuse, my Dodge Viper TA. I know everyone was like, oh, are you going to call this like Nollywood or something? There's Hollywood and Bollywood. I don't know if there's a third one. But like I said, I'm calling this Syracuse. And I have to say, it's a beautiful picture. So shout out to Hutch. Thanks for the good picture on an amazing car. I love it. 200 top speed, 2.80 to 60, 102 handling. Everybody knows where I maxed this, how I maxed it, because it's all recorded and it was a pretty crazy moment. I've already raced it a lot. The win ratio isn't actually very high. 4 days, 39 races, 77% win ratio. It has taken a fair amount of losses, but I've been putting it up against cars like the, well, Porsche GT2 RS or the McLaren 720S. It's a great RQ saver, especially since it's max, and it's a great car to put on the twisties. It does beat some of the older GT2 legendaries, like the RQ86 ones. It's definitely worthy of an 86 position. It could be 85. Honestly, 85 or 86 is kind of a place for the Dodge Viper TA to be. I still think that the ACR is still a better car because 104 handling is, well, it's pretty damn insane. I mean, as you can see here, this car has it as well. This car handles as well as an ACR. Are you sure? I think the ACR handles better. I still think the ACR should have like 105, 106 handling. But anyway, that is it. That is my American Frontier Garage thus far. It's obviously going to change after I spend the 10 mil on my birthday. Hopefully we can add in a couple more epics and maybe even a couple more legendaries, so we'll have to see. But with that said, I'm loving this. I'm loving this update. I'm loving my collection. It's just going to grow and grow and grow and grow. But with that said, guys, I hope you guys have a great day. Everyone, stay safe, wash your hands, and let me know how your collection is going on. So with that said, that's going to be it, because I already said stay safe, wash your hands. So peace, guys. Blossom out.